Spoiler warning. I'm going to be spoiling this film. I don't know why you're watching a video about the film if you've not seen it. But if you haven't seen it or don't want spoilers, get the fuck out now. I'm going to be talking about everything that I can think of to do with this film, including important story details, right from the bat. So, get the hell out of it. You have been warned. So, a few weeks ago, I went to go see Aliens Romulus. I got to go with some friends and my fiance, and we rewatched every single Alien film. Well, not every single one. We didn't watch Resurrection, but we pretty much watched all of them. And I've been seeing lots of negative stuff online about this film. I don't usually make videos about movies. Obviously, I've been making most of my videos about books that I've been reading. I'm not really a movie buff these days. I don't really go to the cinema very often. I don't really see film trailers that excite me and make me want to go see films very often these days. I think it's mainly because the art of the trailer has kind of died for me. I think these days when I watch a movie trailer, it feels like I've already seen the whole film. All of the twists and all of the cool things are already in the trailer. Now I haven't seen the trailer for Alien Romulus. I don't intend to, because I've seen it already, and I knew I was going to go see it because I really like the Alien films in general. I think the sci-fi aesthetic is one of the, and just the sci-fi world setting in general, this kind of corporate dystopia, is one of the cooler sci-fi settings, and obviously it's extremely influential. And the retrofuturism is just awesome. I went to go see this one despite all of that, despite the fact that I'm not really that into films these days, because I've seen all of the Alien films. I thought I might as well go see it. I did go see Prometheus, which is personally, besides Resurrection, my least favourite of all of them. I've seen Covenant as well, which I thought, although it was a shame that it kind of dropped all the plot points from Prometheus, was overall, I thought, a better film. And then there's this film. I just want to say, I think this film was fucking great. This movie, it was a massive return to form for Alien after two films that kind of stinky, let's be honest. They were kind of, I thought Covenant was mid and Prometheus was just bad. And honestly, I'd put it up there with the original, with Aliens. Honestly, I liked it that much. Let's just talk a little bit about what I liked about it. I thought I might as well throw my 2 cents out there about what I thought about the film. So there are a lot of things that I really liked about this film, actually, and the main thing to me was, well, there's one bigger thing than this, but the main through line throughout the whole thing is it felt like a return to the roots of what the Alien films were. The plot is one we've seen before. It's completely and utterly unoriginal and very derivative, but it does exactly what the original film did really well, I think, and Aliens as well. And especially in this one, it feels like the aliens are scary again. For the first half of the film, you don't really see any actual xenomorphs. It's just building up to it. But for the first half of the film, it's just facehuggers. And I thought that was really cool. They actually made the facehuggers really fucking scary. And this is the first time when watching an Alien film, since the first time I watched the first one when I was a lot younger, that I was actually in the cinema like this, covering my face, because I was like, there were moments where it was tense and it was on fucking edge. And this is the first film in the Aliens, the first time I felt that way about an Alien film since the original when I was younger. So I think it did what even Aliens wasn't able to do for me, which was keep the xenomorph threatening and scary and feeling like a big deal, while also at the same time having a lot of xenomorphs around and being present in the film. That was my biggest problem with Aliens, although I understand it's kind of like a Dead Space situation where the films had to evolve, right? And they evolved from horror films into kind of action thriller films, and that was fine. I'm completely fine with that transition. That's completely fine. But I think this film nailed both at the same time, and in a way it felt like a synthesis of the original Alien and the second one in what I thought was well done film in general. Everything just worked. The end scene in this film, the last kind of third of the film, all the Alien films, they all end with the main characters thinking they've gotten out, and then it turns out that they haven't. There's another alien or whatever. The human xenomorph hybrid thing that is in this film is fucking freaky, and the addition of the human face to a xenomorph really added a dimension that I thought was really unique. Now, you know, the xenomorphs, obviously there's very little we understand about their psychology and how they think, right? It's never really clear how they feel about the things they kill. Do they just do it? Do they feel nothing? Do they enjoy it? Do they do it because they like ripping things limb from limb? It's difficult to say. But in this film, at the end, the human xenomorph thing that will haunt my fucking nightmares, that thing smiles, like it's grinning. It looks happy while it kills its mother. There's something uniquely horrifying about that thing. The human expression, the smile on its face I just thought the whole thing was extremely well done, and in general it felt like a return to the setting in a way that a lot of the new films haven't done, right? I mean, Prometheus completely takes you away from the setting, which I thought was a shame, because the setting's one of the coolest things about it, and this kind of like corporate hellhole element to the world of Alien was completely lost, I think, in Prometheus, and that is because it's a prequel, obviously, and it's the same for Covenant, even though I did prefer Covenant. We don't see any of that. We don't see you know, this film at the start really returns to the setting. You know, at the start, the main characters are in a mining colony where people are dying from diseases and generally just not being capable of surviving in the environment they've been put in, and they're desperate. They need a way out. And it really nails home how fucked up their living situation is, and the colony is in general, and how fucked up the corp is as well, which is something that I think that the newer films have been completely missing. This was integral to what made the Alien film so cool to me, and for them, those elements to not be in the film anymore, for them to bring those back and do it as well, if not better, than the previous films, because I really thought this was one of the strongest elements of this film, was they really nailed the corporate dystopia in this film. I thought it was fucking awesome. So yeah, just kind of returned to everything that made the previous films good. I thought they just kind of raked it all back, everything that they'd lost with the modern films. They kind of just completely brought it back again, all at once. You know, which was way beyond my greatest hopes for this film. So overall, massively impressed with just the way that they did that. The next thing is the practical effects. This film uses practical effects again, the way the originals did, and it's really fucking good. Visually as well, this film is fucking awesome. It looks great. There are some scenes in this film which are fucking awesome. The return to the use of the practical effects really elevated visually the film, and added this kind of lens of realism to it that the new CGI filled ones have kind of been missing a little bit. Not to say that Prometheus didn't look good. It did look good. Prometheus looked really good. But Covenant, definitely with the CG, extremely CGI xenomorphs, it just doesn't stand up to the original, and practical effects are always going to be better in this regard, I think. There are CGI xenomorphs in this film, but to be honest with you, the practical effects were so good, it's kind of hard to tell what is and isn't CG. So that's just tells you everything you need to know about how good the practical effects in this film really are. Now this is the big one, the cast of characters in this film. Now this is really interesting to me, because the main thing I've seen criticism for is the cast of characters in this film. People are saying that the android in the film, that he is completely carrying the cast on his back. And they're talking about the guy who plays Andy, which is the android character that Rain, the main character, has with her. She's kind of like looking after him, and he's been repaired, kind of. And he's kind of malfunctioning, and he's kind of like her little brother. It's kind of like a Lenny situation from a Mice and Men kind of vibe that you get right at the start. It's true that he is, the acting, Andy's character, the guy who played him, I don't know his name, but the guy who played him, completely is by far and away the best cast member in this film by a significant margin. The acting was absolutely incredible, considering he plays multiple characters essentially in this film and just completely nails all of them. That being said, I just thought the cast of characters in this film was the best cast of characters we've had in an Alien film. To be honest with you, besides Aliens, I thought even better than that by a significant margin. And I know people are going to disagree with that. I've seen people online saying that they felt no attachment to any of these characters, which is crazy to me, because I think this film does the best job of setting up the cast of characters at the start of the film. So this film starts with them on this corporate hellhole, right? And they're desperate to do whatever the fuck they can to get off of it, essentially, to escape. And that's basically what catapults them into the disaster that is running into the xenomorphs, obviously, is because they find a station in orbit that has cryopods that they think that they can use to get them to another system, basically, and escape indentured servitude, essentially. At the start of the film, the main character, Rain, she's basically earned the right to leave. She's paid off, worked all of the hours that she's required to work as part of her contract, and she asks for a transfer to another planet, and they basically just arbitrarily double it. And, you know, at that point you realise she's fucked. She has no rights. She's never escaping, right? And this is basically fundamentally what made me like the cast of characters in this film so much, because they make the decision to go and do what they do to get involved with the alien, right? Everything that's going on in this film is a direct result of their decisions and is a consequence of their desire to leave this planet, right? It is ultimately their fault they're in this situation. But at the same time, you really want them to succeed. And by that I mean the entire cast of characters. This includes this guy whose name I can't remember, but he's just basically a massive arsehole, right? But then he dies halfway through the film, and it's actually quite a sad death, because you kind of start to like him a bit before he dies. And in general, the characters in this film, I thought making them a group of teenagers trying to escape a horrible corporate oppression for a better life is the best character motivation we've had for any of the characters in these films so far, by a massive fucking margin. And inherently, that story hook makes me give a shit about these kids, okay? I want to see them succeed, I want to see them survive, I want to see them escape. They deserve to, right? And this is kind of why it's crazy to me to see people say that they don't like the cast of characters in this film. Because this is the strongest cast of characters, with the best reason to be where they are, with the best reason to be interacting with an alien, with the best setup for us to give a shit about them as a viewer. Unless you just lack empathy as a human being, like, you should want to see these kids fucking escape and succeed, man. Seeing them die one by one was really sad and really emotionally engaging in a way that I have not felt about the other films. And yeah, I just thought the cast of characters was great in this film. Not only are they great, but it's the first time we've had an alien film where there aren't characters constantly making stupid fucking decisions. Basically every decision that's made by a character in this film makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And none of it seemed contrived or stupid or, you know, tropish. You know, like you get a lot of tropes in horror movies where people just constantly do stupid shit that you know no one would ever do. They don't do that in this film. They continuously make logical decisions that make sense, and I thought that in that regard, this film is better than any of the Alien films. So in terms of the cast of characters and the fact that the characters don't do anything stupid, the best film in that regard so far. The last thing I want to talk about is the kind of action set piece moments. This film has so many fucking cool action set piece moments. Them sneaking past the facehuggers was really fucking cool. The first interaction with the facehuggers in the room with the coolant, and basically they all start getting defrosted, and the room just starts to fill with facehuggers. That was really cool. The scene when they go and they get the guns, and the kid kind of fanboys about colonial marines. That was really cool. The rifles were fucking cool as hell. The scene when she goes back and has to blast her way out, and then after she blasts her way out, because the gravity is turned off, there's just loads of floating acid blood in the air, and she has to make her way through that acid blood in 0G before the gravity turns back on and drops all the acid, was really fucking cool. The fight scene at the end of the film with the fucked up human xenomorphs xenomorph thing was really fucking cool. In general, basically every action scene in this film kicked ass and was awesome and was tense. I mean, it was great. I have no complaints about it, basically. Thought it was fucking awesome. In conclusion, thought it was a great film. It's currently sitting at about 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is a fair score. Overall, really great film. I thought, I didn't mention the plot or anything, but I thought a lot of the story stuff that's going on in this film was really cool, and I'm interested to see what they do with it. Hopefully they don't fuck it up like they did with Prometheus and Covenant. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to more Alien films. If they're going to be as good as this one, then they've struck gold, basically, because I thought this was, you know, a great film, and I would love to see more of them. Who doesn't love xenomorphs? Who doesn't think xenomorphs are cool as fuck? Who doesn't think that the corporate dystopia sci-fi setting of the Alien films are fucking awesome? Who doesn't want more of that? You know what I mean? We want more of it done well. So to see it done well again is fucking awesome. Yeah, that's it. I just thought I'd drop my pointless opinion that nobody cares about Alien Romulus. If I was gonna tier it with the other Alien films, I'd put it up there in S tier with Alien and Aliens, probably as like the best Alien films. I'd put it up there with them. It's definitely the best modern Alien film that we've had by a long shot. So if you've not seen it, go see it. Unfortunately, I spoiled the fuck out of it, but great fucking film. Surprised me. Return to form. Do more of those. Do more of these films, because it was fucking sick. I'd love to see more.